In today's video, I want to spend approximately 15 minutes to share with you guys 10 strategies I've been using to overcome my low points. This video is in response to a poll I recently posted, and because 98% of you guys voted that you would like to see this type of video, hence here we are. I want to first thank those who took time to vote, as well as I want to personally thank C Punky, Daniel Angel, Michael Collins, VRMN for taking time to write comments and offering your kind words. This past year and a half, I've been mentally struggling with feelings of regret, anxiety, hopelessness, feeling inadequate over my past mistakes, as well as actions I didn't take. Because these thoughts and feelings are crippling, unhealthy, and unproductive, whenever I caught myself in this negative state, I would use these strategies to help correct my thoughts. And I'm not a therapist by any means, but these are strategies I've been personally using, and perhaps one of them can help you too. My first strategy is remembering that life is a gift. I recently browsed Netflix and saw the movie Romeo Must Die. In that movie, co-starred Jet Li and a beautiful actress named Aaliyah. When you watch, you can tell she was so talented, charming, beautiful, and there was so much future ahead of her. But subsequent to that movie, she died in an airplane crash at the young age of 22. And you think, how is it that someone like her was taken from us so soon? Despite the many losses, failures you experience, it isn't death. Despite whatever circumstances you were born into, whatever circumstances you are in now, you were given life, you're alive, and you are here now. And that is possibly the greatest gift. Whatever that has happened, whatever it is that I'm going through, the one thing that I can be at least thankful for is that I'm still alive. Remember that your life is a gift. Life is a gift, but it is also a fight. You have to fight every single day. Rest if you must, but please don't quit on yourself. Second is being grateful for things you do have. Your cup can either be filled with gratitude or regret. Sometimes we're so focused on things we don't have, we don't appreciate the things that we do have. To help keep myself grounded and humble, I try to remind myself that, I'm grateful that I have my vision, I have my hands, my legs, clean water, my parents are still alive. Some of these things in which others may not have. There's someone out there who's blind and never got to experience the beauty that the world has to offer. There's a soldier out there who lost both his legs from an IED in Afghanistan. There's some family in Indonesia, in an Indonesian village, being exposed to water contaminated with metals and chemicals. And there's someone out there right now who's going through the loss of their mom or dad. When you reflect, you may find that you have enough tools and things to be grateful for. There's a lot going against you, but you also have enough going for you. My third strategy is looking forward to small things that make you happy. The majority of life, you will be processing loss, failures, difficulty, and struggle. However, there will be small moments, pockets of happiness that will remind you that life is also worth living. Some of my happiest memories was when I visited Japan. There I had one of the best bowls of ramen at a store called Junk Ramen in the city of Osaka. The noodles were made in shop. They were chewy long noodles, had an amazing texture that was definitely worthy of slurping. The chicken broth was light, flavorful, fragrant, and just heavenly, topped with the most tender and clean slices of chicken. I dream of visiting Japan again and making a visit to that very same shop, as well as to explore and try new experiences. I want to live so that I can experience these things. Although life is hard, remember some of your happiest moments have yet to be realized. Whether it's meeting your future partner, going on a date for the first time, experiencing the birth of your child, hearing them tell you that they love you, making your first trip or adventure to another country, or like me, simply experiencing a delicious bowl of ramen will help remind you that life is also worth living. The fourth strategy is handle one day at a time. Don't live in the past, what could have, should have, would have. Don't worry and stress about the future. Focus on today. The past and the future are out of our control. The more we focus on things that are out of our control, the higher anxiety we will feel. It's a waste to place our energy and mental capacity into thinking about the past and the future. We should place that energy and mental capacity towards our current day, into things that we can control. Some mornings I wake up and past mistakes and regrets would start to run through my mind. I try to immediately instruct my mind to focus on today. Why are we starting our day weighed down by regrets and negative thoughts? How we start our days, positive momentum, and our mental capacity is so precious. We have to protect these things. So tell your mind to focus on today. Today is a new opportunity. Today is in our control. Today is now. We must make the most of it. My fifth strategy is focus on actions and output. Misery comes from focusing on what we don't have. The bigger the gap between where we are versus where our expectation and where we want to be is, the more anxiety we will experience. And there's nothing wrong with being ambitious and aspiring to achieve more, but instead of focusing on that gap in the destination, therefore resulting in that feeling of inadequacy and lack of self-worth, reframe your mindset to what are things I'm excited to start doing to see the change I want to become. What are processes, activities, routines I can implement? What is something I can output and produce today? In the act of doing things, you will feel more hopeful and driven with purpose. It is when we're not doing anything that we feel the most anxiety. Doing gets over depression. What am I excited to do today? How can I increase my value output to the world so that the world can reciprocate it back to me? My sixth strategy is looking to inspiring examples. I found it helpful to say to myself, even though my life is hard, some people's lives are even harder. This helps me be more empathetic and respectful towards all people, as well as when I'm feeling hopeless about my situation. I find it helpful to look to inspiring examples like Yeonmi Park, who escaped from North Korea, Francis Ngannou, who migrated out of Cameroon. You can hear their stories on the Joe Rogan podcast. They both came from extremely hopeless, impoverished, harsh, and difficult conditions, but they were able to overcome them and now achieve success in America. So if they can overcome and make it out of this, then these hardships I'm facing in front of me are not that bad. They are not out of my capability to overcome. I've been blessed and better positioned. There's a certain calm knowing that other people have faced worse difficulties and was able to overcome them. My seventh strategy is journaling my thoughts. I find it helpful to journal my thoughts. I've been blocking out a 30-minute time to journal my thoughts each night. Part of my journaling includes identifying my mistakes and where I went wrong. I write down the lessons that were learned so that those mistakes didn't occur in vain. At least something came out of them. I then come up with processes and actions so that I can behave differently moving forward, so that this mistake doesn't happen again. So that I can say, because of this mistake, I was able to learn these lessons and make something bigger out of it. You have to realize it's hindsight 2020. When you look back at your past mistakes, you'll always have the bias of, oh, this would have been the best decision, obviously. Forgive yourself, because at that point in time, you were a different person. At that point in time, you didn't have the knowledge, wisdom, and the mentality that you have now. You are human. My eighth strategy is going to the gym and or going for a swim. One of the things I look forward to each day is going to the gym and going for a swim. When you exercise, you will feel better because your body will chemically release endorphins that will improve your mental and your physical health. Also, when you go to the gym or the pool, seeing other people and having the company of others, even if you are not directly interacting with them, just vicariously being amongst people, experiencing that social aspect, I think is healthy for you. It will make you feel less lonely. My ninth strategy is to travel. This strategy has a bit of a higher barrier in terms of cost and energy, but I think it's so worth it. Traveling makes me feel alive. There's a saying, I travel not to escape life, but for life not to escape me. Seeing beauty and wonders of the world makes me appreciate life. Seeing the struggles and the difficult lives of others keeps me humble and grateful. Traveling keeps me inspired and excited to see more. I have 3 memories from traveling that I like to share. In Thailand, Pattaya, in one of the streets shops, I dropped in to try a bowl of Tom Yum ramen. There was a young man who had lost one of his eyes who was working as the server. It looked like a family-run shop, so it looks like he was helping his mother. His mother was the cook and he was the server. So instead of being put off by his appearance, I was quite touched and inspired. I found it so noble and inspirational that despite his physical impairment, he didn't let that set him back. He worked hard and did what he could with what he had to help the shop and his family. In Cartagena, Colombia, it is a beautiful city of fine dining restaurants, history, and Spanish architectural influence in the old walled city. However, in the same area of nightlife and luxury, we can quickly see a different side of the coin. I have 2 ingrained memories of Cartagena that I carry in my heart. First memory is seeing 2 impoverished girls playing with stones at the park. It was touching to see them just smile, although it was just dirt and stones, to be content with so little while their parents were trying to sell items on the street. Second, walking 5 minutes to another street, I saw a 6 to 8-year-old girl who appeared to be homeless sitting on a small, torn, dirty mattress, who appeared to be attempting to write or practice writing out letters on a dirty, crumpled piece of paper. It's a scene that immediately hits your heart. The contrast is significant. It made me grateful that, I have a roof over my head, I have access to paper if I needed to write on something, and the fact that I have access to a laptop, which is even more significant. How we use these tools are up to us. Some places in the world, a kid wish they would have access to a laptop and internet to be able to learn to read, to write, learn math, and learn all the things that the internet is able to provide. I couldn't help but to give a little bit of money to these kids, and I'm not, by no means, I'm not a saint or anything. It was just enough for them to get a treat, like from the convenience stores. But I wish I had taken a photo or a video with them. I didn't take a photo or video at the time because I didn't want them to feel awkward, but I think I'll start taking photos and videos together with the people that I meet on my travels for my memories going forward. And I hope you guys do stick around because I am planning to share more travel videos, stories, and tips in the very near future. Number 10 is don't compare yourself to others. You can't help but to compare yourself to others. I'm also guilty of this. Of course, there are people who are younger, more successful. I've learned to acknowledge their achievements and their greatness, and I'm grateful that they exist because they are showing me what's possible. And if there's something that I can learn from them, great. But that's their story, and I want to create my own story. Focus on the experiences that you want to have and the things that you want to achieve. Focus on creating your own story. You have chapters ahead that remain to be written. This brings me to the end of the video. If you guys have any strategies, let me know in the comments. I'm still learning as well, so I would love to read your guys' thoughts and strategies. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, consider giving it a like, sharing, commenting, subscribing, because these things help with the algorithm. Thanks again, and I will catch you guys in the next video.